Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're focusing in on perhaps the most prolific number of questions I get, and that is how do I get revenge or how do I get back at a covert narcissist? I often get asked that question from those who have had relationships with a covert narcissist. Either they've been married for quite a long time, or it's a family member, or someone in their workplace who has subtly sabotaged them, who has been very quiet, unexpressive, lacking in a lot of communication, but then tends to sabotage their life, their work, their relationships with their aloofness, with their lack of validation, and really with their subtle splitting behavior where they will be very unsupportive and not really sharing in the common values that they portend to. And so I find most common that it is really this lack of sharing of values and being forthright and honest and clearly communicating where they stand to be the most destructive element. Because if someone isn't communicating their values, they keep it under lock and key. They are able to keep kind of an inner fantasy life, an inner reservoir of feelings, emotions, expressions, and really how they feel about you. And so they have a very, very eerily calm demeanor, meaning that they're not very expressive. They're very aloof. And it's their withdrawal of acknowledgement or support that can be so hurtful. And so it's very kind of like a subtle or slow emotional asphyxia where you don't realize that it's happening, but it happens chronologically over time. And I would say the most common complaint I hear is that people they feel that they have so much anger because they have wasted so much time with this individual. They have wasted so much of their life, the prime of their life, and they want to know how to get revenge. They want to know how to get back. They want to know how to settle the score. So, of course, I definitely don't recommend, the anger lashing out to these individuals. Even though you might feel anger, you might feel upset, you might feel frustration, and you might feel like you really want to get back at this person and go on the escapades of, how could you, why did you, all this sort of, anger outbursts at them. And then furthermore, how do they recover their family? Perhaps they've been, ostracized from their family. This person, might be the one that the other people side with. And so they feel like they're not attended to, they're not heard, they're kept out of the loop. And then it's just, the physical proximity. They might be living near this person. So there's a natural divide or rift in the relationship because of now where they live, or the way that this person is, easier to get along with because they're so quiet, they're so unassuming. They don't really tend to bring up or ruffle the feathers a lot because they're very irresponsible. The covert narcissist tends to shy away from responsibility or accountability or feeling like they've done anything wrong. They're very passive or very passive aggressive. So, meaning like it's not what they say, it's what they don't say. It's not what they do, it's what they don't do. And, then kind of under their calm demeanor can be kind of these embroiled feelings that you never get to know, but that have been harbored over a long period of time. So really, how do you get back? How do you even the score? How do you settle things? As I mentioned, if you have angry outbursts at them in fights, it's going to fall on deaf ears. It's not really going to be well received. It's not really going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you the results. It's not going to bring you the closure. I would say number one is you just need to understand that this person is the way that they are, that they served a specific role in your life to be there, to be a presence. Perhaps you had exhausted yourself in working hard for them, taking care of them, filling up the relationship with more than your fair share of time, attention, and energy, and perhaps it's exhausted you. I know a lot of people who contact me, they are so exhausted that they're experiencing adrenal fatigue, all the various immune system issues, some of the lupus, the fibromyalgias, a lot of this really sort of very, very chronic and ongoing health issues that are hard to overcome and very difficult to treat and diagnose. and very difficult to alleviate the symptoms of. It's just can be a real profound depression and lack of energy, and oftentimes there's an emotional tie to it, the bewilderment that comes with it. So number one, you have to look at the emotional fix. If you want to really get back at them, look at how they have dampened your emotional vibrancy. A lot of people, they tell me, I used to be so vibrant, I used to have so much energy, I used to be so excited, enthusiastic. And when I learned all this, that this person, had felt this way or done this or betrayed me behind my back, I lost all that vigor. I lost all that enthusiasm and excitement. So, rather than allowing this deficit in your life to win or defeat you, get your excitement for life back. Get your enthusiasm for life back. Get your passion back. The things that come easily to you, the things that you love, the things that perhaps the covert narcissist held you back from. Begin to identify those. Because oftentimes, you had tried to take care of this person. They were the focus of your life, the focal point of your life. And oftentimes people, their life purpose became taking care of this person, versus having, a inner identity that is separate and distinct from this individual. So get really into the understanding that you should not feel guilty or fearful or afraid to break free, be yourself, and identify your passions, the things that you've always wanted to do, but this relationship held you back from. Because chances are this person either said outright, no, you can't do this. I don't think you can do this. We can't afford this. I don't see you doing this. Or they kind of kept you in that submerged state in the relationship where maybe you were suffocated, or maybe, you were just kind of submerged in the relationship. You were so enmeshed that you couldn't really go out and become yourself. You felt forever trauma bonded to this individual that, they're walking on eggshells. This person might yell at me. This person might withdraw their support. They might withdraw their presence. And, you eventually need to learn to become comfortable with your autonomy, which means being your own person, relying on yourself, governing your own emotions. So if you haven't gotten a chance to go out there and really live your life, now's the time. It's never too late to begin your life again. It's never too late to dream. It's never too late to take action. So you have to realize and identify what are those areas that they have held you back, where they said, no, you can't do this, you can't feel this way, or you must be here for me because. And, cut those strings, wiggle them free, throw them off like an uncomfortable piece of clothing, and get rid of that feeling and begin to embrace the I can. Begin to embrace the I want. Begin to embrace the yes. And begin to give yourself a little bit more personal space and privacy, and do things in your life that you don't have to check in with this person to get permission to do. Because I find that oftentimes people have kind of subconsciously felt that this person had to give them permission to live their life. For some reason that has been externalized to them. And you don't, as you mature, you don't need this person's permission to go out and live your life. You need to give this permission to yourself. Oftentimes, the lack of self-esteem and lack of self-value comes with a lack of permission that you're giving to yourself. You haven't allowed yourself to feel this. You haven't been validated to feel this way. You haven't, experienced this feeling of, I am okay. Yes, I can do this. Yes, this is not stressful. I can do this without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling anxiety. I can tackle this. I can go take this class. I can go ahead and read this book. I can go ahead and write this book. I can go ahead and have an exercise routine. I can go and develop a certificate. Maybe, I want to be a paralegal, or I want to begin to teach a certain sort of class, yoga class, massage, all the different areas of life. Painting. I know that there are a lot of artists here on this channel. I get a lot of feedback that oftentimes people with these individuals, it's kind of like they're the logical side trying to balance out their emotional side. So chances are a lot of you are very creative and talented in those areas, but you haven't been validated. So I want you to go out basically and spread your wings and go ahead and go out on that plank, go out on that limb, and give yourself permission to really explore and take time for yourself and do those things, and don't look for validation. If you feel you're disappointing the narcissist by going out and living your life, chances are that's a sign that you're on the right track, because your comfort zone has become your failure zone. If you've become too comfortable in being unhappy, if you've been too comfortable in being subservient to this individual, if you've become too comfortable being complacent, giving up, saying, it's not worth it anymore, chances are these are the negative messages that have made an impact or impression on your self-conscious that's keeping you stuck, it's keeping you blocked, it's keeping you away from your true desire, your true passion in life. So you need to dust it off and start awakening that again, and begin to pursue those, and begin to pursue those right now. What are 5 things you can do right now that you have been holding yourself back from? What are 10 things that you really wanted to do that the covert narcissist told you you couldn't? You didn't feel that you could. You were waiting for them to give you the go-ahead or to be your companion on that journey, yet you really need to embark on it autonomously, independently, as an individual, and really have the inner strength, the spiritual strength to go and pursue those things. How can you make inroads into this area of life, this interest of yours, this talent of yours that you've always felt kind of nagging at you, you've always wanted to do, but then covert narcissists didn't back you up. You were too involved with trying to take care of them and be there for them and look out for them and give gifts to them and make meals for them, and always make sure that, they were okay. Oftentimes I find that individuals who are in a relationship with a covert narcissist, they're subtly walking on eggshells. They're so afraid of upsetting them, or that if they go and leave the relationship, that the relationship will be so empty, there'll be no substance to it. They'll have nothing to come back to. So they're so almost compulsively taking care of this other individual rather than themselves. And it's because they feel like they have to carry the weight of the relationship. They have to love, enough for 2, if you will. And so, begin to really explore that. A lot of people have a fear of abandonment or a fear of rejection that's holding them back. And, explore that. What fears of abandonment do you have? And are they really real? Or is it really false evidence appearing real? Really, the root of fear is false evidence appearing real, if you look at it that way. And also, furthermore, look at the intimacy. If there's a lack of true understanding between the 2 of you, there's a lack of intimacy, and you feel that there's really kind of a divide or a gulf or a rift, realize that maybe there's too much intensity in the relationship, too much drama, too much chaos, too many conflicts that are keeping the relationship intact. And there isn't really a true intimacy. There isn't a really true feeling of understanding or coming together where you can just be yourself. You constantly have to play a facade to their facade. So if this is the case, realize that what you're truly looking for is intimacy, or to be understood. And I really think it's interesting that intimacy, really broken down, is in time I will see. So when you really see the truth, when you really see truly how you feel, and when you have intimacy, you can really truly see this person and who they are, their true colors, their true character, their true demeanor. That's something that you don't want to fight against. It's something you want to accept and embrace, and really, cease and crack out of the denial or the procrastination of feeling like, I don't want to know the truth. I'm afraid of the truth. Stop the fear of the truth. The truth will set you free. The truth is your best ally. So even though the truth has probably been, trying to speak up to you, and you keep pushing down that which you want to do, begin to face your fears. Then it will not have so much power over you. I find that in the covert narcissist relationships, there's so much unspoken fear that tends to be kind of keeping people stifled, stuck, and hindered. And so begin to face your fears. What are 10 things that you have been fearing, that you've been too afraid to face? And chances are these are living your own life. There's a lot of areas of living your own life or doing what you want to do, but you've been subconsciously holding yourself back. And how can you take action? How can you take action today And how can you take action on these tomorrow? And how can you take action on these in a couple of days, in 7 days, in 30 days, and continue to take action so you can make some traction and really get some footwork going in the direction of your dreams? You know, what is really holding you back from that true excitement, that true pleasure principle, that true kind of inner self, that inner, often it's almost like an inner child that is wanting validation or wanting expression, but you've had to be too adult or taking too much care of an individual. And so bring out your mature self to take care of that inner child and kind of reparent yourself, if you will. Use that cognitive reframing to realize, you know what, you really do want to do this. You really are interested in this part of life. You've been denying yourself this experience and this pleasure for too long. That has been, I know a lot of people, their covert narcissist wasn't into exercise, so they didn't exercise. They weren't into traveling, so they didn't travel. They didn't really speak up about many values, so they don't have a lot of values. So find ways that you can go out and become passionate about something. What areas do you really truly have a sensitivity and a heart for? Even if it seems illogical, find ways that you can begin to learn about this. Find organizations that develop this, whether it's something like gardening or exercise or learning a new language or learning to cook or, learning to craft things with your hands or ceramics or, the crochet or the needlework or whatever, the felt work. I know I have a lot of clients who are very creative and they have done just fabulous, gorgeous work with woodwork and different felts and silk painting and, just really phenomenal. Yet, they might have been ridiculed for this. And so you don't need this person's permission. Make permission for yourself. It's about time. And when you really begin to live your life, and this seems very common sense and very sensical, but that is really how you get revenge on the covert narcissist. You don't always have to give them an update on how you're doing. You don't really need to seek their permission to live your life. Be the person that you want. Dress the way that you want. Feel the way that you want. Eat the way that you want. Because chances are there's some healthy, impetus and voice that you have that you really need to unleash, that has been submerged or suffocated through an individual who required too much of your time and attention to take care of versus and keeping you separate from your true destiny. So the answer is yes. Find something every day on that list of 5 to 10 things that you have been holding yourself back from that are your true interests and begin to pursue those immediately. You need to take action immediately in order to really make that commitment, because the commitment you need to make is to yourself and not just that narcissist, the covert narcissist, because I find that there's almost times a unspoken contract that I will not live my life. There's an unspoken contract with these individuals that you will not do a certain thing or be a certain way, even though it's your true self. You might, have a great fascination with a specific culture or part of the world that you wanted to explore, but this person just didn't validate it in you, and yet it's always been part of you. So begin to embrace that wonderful part of you, explore and pursue your interests and your passions in that area, and give it life, breathe it life, and then furthermore, find others who also appreciate and have a fondness and a passion and enthusiasm and excitement for that aspect of life, and then your life will become more enhanced, and you'll enhance the life of others. And then that fire, inner passion, and inner light will grow. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.